You know what separates ordinary people from extraordinary achievers? One simple thing: they force themselves to do what others won't. That's it. The successful few push themselves when everyone else is comfortable. They work when others rest. They study when others sleep. They risk when others hide. And that's why they get what others don't. I want to talk to you today about forcing yourself to level up. Not tomorrow, not next week, not when you feel ready, but right now. Because if you keep waiting for the perfect moment, you'll wait forever. The perfect moment is a myth. There's only this moment and what you choose to do with it. Look at your life right now. Are you satisfied? Are you proud? Have you become all you could be? Most folks look around at their circumstances and say, well, that's just how life is. But I'm telling you something different today. Your life isn't what it is because of chance. Your life is what it is because of choice. Your choices, day after day, year after year. The good news? If your choices created your current life, new choices can create a new life. But you've got to force yourself. Nobody's coming to push you. Nobody's coming to motivate you. Nobody's coming to make you get up early, work harder, or stay later. That's on you. Some folks say, but I don't feel like it. Well, let me tell you something valuable. Successful people do what they need to do, whether they feel like it or not. That's the difference. That's the secret. That's the game changer. Force yourself to level up. Those 5 words could transform everything for you. Let's get down to business. The day your life changes forever is the day you decide it will. Not when circumstances change, not when you get that lucky break, not when someone else gives you permission, but when you decide. Decision is the ultimate power. Yet most people never decide. They wish, they hope, they dream, but they don't decide. What does it mean to truly decide? The word decide comes from Latin, meaning to cut off. When you decide, you cut off all other possibilities. You burn the bridges behind you. You create a point of no return. Most folks keep their options open. That sounds smart, doesn't it? But it's actually the strategy of the uncommitted, the strategy of those who want to play it safe. And playing it safe is the riskiest thing you can do in a world that rewards excellence. Don't misunderstand me. I'm not talking about recklessness. I'm talking about commitment. I'm talking about saying, this is who I'm going to be from now on, and nothing will stop me. When you make that kind of decision, the universe conspires to help you. Opportunities show up, resources appear. The right people enter your life. It's almost magical, but it starts with your decision. I remember talking to a young man years ago. He told me he wanted to be successful. I asked him, how badly do you want it? He said, really badly. So I asked him, what did you do this morning? He said he slept in. I asked what he read last week. He hadn't read anything. I asked what goals he had written down. He hadn't written any. See, he hadn't decided. He just wished, and wishing won't get you anywhere. Today could be your decision day. The day you say enough is enough. From now on, I'm going to live at a higher level. Make that decision, and your life will never be the same. The biggest enemy you'll face on your journey isn't other people. It isn't the economy. It isn't bad luck. Your biggest enemy is comfort. Comfort kills ambition. Comfort kills growth. Comfort is the warm bath that feels good, but eventually puts you to sleep. Let me ask you something. When was the last time you did something that made you uncomfortable? When was the last time you pushed beyond your limits? When was the last time you felt that mixture of fear and excitement that comes from venturing into new territory? If it's been a while, that's a problem, because growth only happens outside your comfort zone. Inside your comfort zone, there's no pressure, no challenge, no reason to become more than you already are. And if you're not growing, you're dying. The marketplace doesn't reward comfort, it rewards value. And to create more value, you must become more valuable. That means developing new skills, acquiring new knowledge, building new relationships, all of which require leaving comfort behind. Some people say, I just want to be comfortable. Well, that's fine if you're a piece of furniture, but if you're a human being with dreams and aspirations, comfort should scare you more than failure does. Think about it. Which is worse, The temporary discomfort of growth or the permanent discomfort of knowing you settled for less than you could have been? Force yourself to do the uncomfortable thing. Force yourself to make the call you've been avoiding. Force yourself to wake up earlier. Force yourself to learn the skill that intimidates you. Force yourself to speak up when it would be easier to stay silent. The interesting thing about forcing yourself to leave comfort behind is that what once seemed uncomfortable eventually becomes your new normal. Then you find a new edge, a new frontier of discomfort that leads to even greater growth. In this life, success isn't about what you do occasionally. It's about what you do consistently. The small disciplines, repeated day after day, will take you much farther than the occasional grand gesture. Because life isn't a sprint. It's a marathon made up of tiny steps taken consistently over time. Let me give you an example. Reading just 10 pages of a good book every day might not seem like much, but do that for a year, and you've read 3,650 pages. That's about 15 books. Do it for 5 years, and you've read 75 books. That's more than many people read in a lifetime. And those books will fill your mind with ideas, strategies, and wisdom that will compound in value over time. The same principle applies to saving a small amount of money consistently, making one new contact each day, exercising for just 20 minutes, or writing for half an hour. These small disciplines don't transform your life overnight, but given enough time, they create massive results. What makes these small disciplines so powerful is the compound effect. Just like compound interest in finance, small positive actions compound over time to create exponential results. But here's the thing, nobody's going to force you to do these small disciplines. Nobody's standing over you making sure you read those 10 pages, save that money, make that contact, exercise, or write. You have to force yourself. What's interesting is that these small disciplines are easy to do, but they're also easy not to do. Missing one day of reading 10 pages won't ruin your life. And that's precisely why most people don't maintain these disciplines. The consequences of neglecting them aren't immediate or catastrophic. They're subtle and cumulative. The difference between success and failure often comes down to doing the things you know you should do when you don't feel like doing them. That's the test. That's the challenge. That's where you prove what you're made of. So force yourself to install these small disciplines in your life. Don't wait until you feel motivated. Motivation is fleeting, discipline is reliable, and disciplines practiced consistently become habits. Once they're habits, they no longer require as much force. They become part of who you are. Force yourself to take responsibility. Force yourself to add value before you expect to extract value. Force yourself to become the kind of person the marketplace rewards. Remember, the marketplace pays for value, not time. Two people can work the same hours, but create vastly different value and receive vastly different rewards. That's not unfair. That's the nature of value exchange. I've said this for years, and it remains one of the most important principles I've ever learned. Your income rarely exceeds your personal development. Your income isn't determined primarily by your industry, your company, or even your skills. It's determined by the person you become. Think about it. If you have a $1 million mindset, $1 million habits, $1 million relationships, and $1 million skills, do you think you'd have trouble creating a substantial income? Of course not. The real challenge isn't earning the money. It's becoming the person who can earn the money. This is why personal development isn't just a nice addition to your professional development. For most people, it's the missing piece. They keep trying to change their results without changing themselves first, and it rarely works. Consider two individuals in the same company with the same education, same opportunities. After 5 years, one is earning twice as much as the other. What's the difference? Usually, it's not external factors. It's that one person worked harder on themselves than they did on their job. They read more books. They attended more seminars. They sought out mentors. They practiced their skills relentlessly. They developed their character and their mindset. The beautiful thing about personal development is that once you develop yourself, no one can take those improvements away from you. You might lose your job, your money, your possessions, but your personal growth stays with you forever. And as long as you maintain and continue that growth, you can rebuild anything else you might lose. This is why I always emphasize, work harder on yourself than you do on your job. Don't wish for less problems. Develop more skills. Don't wish for less challenge. Develop more wisdom. Force yourself to grow daily. Ask yourself every morning, how can I be better today than I was yesterday? Force yourself to read the books that challenge you, not just entertain you. Force yourself to have the difficult conversations that lead to growth. Force yourself to practice the skills that will make you more valuable. Your potential is nearly limitless. But potential without development is like a field with seeds that never get watered. Force yourself to develop what's inside you and you'll be amazed at what grows. You've probably heard me say that you're the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. This isn't just a catchy saying. It's a fundamental truth about human nature. We are profoundly influenced by our environments and associations. Look around at the people closest to you. Are they challenging you or comforting you? Are they pushing you to grow or encouraging you to stay the same? Are they moving forward in life or standing still? These aren't judgmental questions. They're diagnostic questions, because their trajectory will influence your trajectory. If you wanted to level up, you must deliberately engineer your environment. This might be one of the most difficult parts of transforming your life because it often requires difficult choices about relationships. But few things impact your life more than the people you regularly associate with. Think about it. If you spend time with people who complain, you'll tend to complain more. If you spend time with people who take responsibility, you'll tend to take more responsibility. If you spend time with people who dream big, you'll tend to dream bigger yourself. It's almost automatic. Some folks expect life to be easy. Then when it's not, they feel cheated or victimized. But success isn't built on easy. Success is built on overcoming the difficult. Force yourself to face adversity head on. Don't run from challenges. Run toward them. Don't merely endure difficulties. Extract the wisdom from them. Don't just survive tough times. Use them as transformation opportunities. Remember, it's not what happens to you that determines your future. It's what you do with what happens to you. 2 people can face identical adversities and come out completely different on the other side. One is broken. The other is built. One is bitter. The other is better. The difference isn't in the circumstance. It's in the response. So when adversity comes, and it will come, ask better questions. Don't ask, why is this happening to me? Ask, what is this teaching me? How can I use this? What strength must I develop to overcome this? These questions turn adversity from an enemy into an ally. Force yourself to grow through adversity, not just go through it. The difference is everything. Most people never reach their potential, not because they aim too high and miss, but because they aim too low and hit. The standards you set for yourself determine the life you'll live. Low standards lead to mediocrity. High standards lead to excellence. What are standards? They're the behaviors and outcomes you refuse to live below. They're your personal non-negotiables. They're what you demand from yourself, even when no one is watching. The interesting thing about standards is that once established, they tend to get met. If your standard is that you never miss a workout, you'll organize your life to ensure you never miss. If your standard is that you read 30 books a year, you'll find the time to read. If your standard is that you save 20 of your income, you'll make the necessary adjustments to honor that standard. But standards don't establish themselves. You must consciously set them. And more importantly, you must enforce them on yourself first, then on what you're willing to accept from others. Most people have high standards in some areas, but very low standards in others. They might be meticulous about their appearance, but careless with their finances. They might demand excellence in their work, but accept mediocrity in their health. This inconsistency creates an inconsistent life. Take a hard look at your current standards. Are they serving you? Are they taking you where you want to go? Or are they keeping you comfortable in the familiar territory of good enough? Force yourself to raise your standards. If you've been saving 5, make it 10. If you've been reading 1 book a month, make it 2. If you've been working out 3 days a week, make it 4. Whatever area of your life needs elevation, consciously set a new standard that stretches you. The beautiful thing about higher standards is that they automatically eliminate many problems before they start. When your standard is that you always keep your word, you don't have to deal with the fallout from broken promises. When your standard is that you maintain excellent health, you avoid countless issues that plague those with lower health standards. Your life will never outperform your standards. So set them high, uncomfortably high. The discomfort is temporary, but the elevation is permanent. Goals are the fuel for achievement. Without clear goals, you're like a ship without a destination, movement without purpose. But not all goal-setting approaches are created equal. Some actually set you up for frustration rather than fulfillment. The art of goal setting that transforms begins with clarity. Many people have vague desires rather than clear goals. They say things like, I want to be successful, or I want to be happy, or I want more money. But these aren't goals. They're wishes. Goals are specific, measurable, time-bound, and written. Why written? Because putting your goals on paper does something powerful. It transforms them from fleeting thoughts to concrete intentions. It creates commitment. It allows you to review them regularly. As I often say, the faintest ink is more powerful than the strongest memory. But beyond the mechanics of goal setting, there's a deeper aspect that many miss. The most powerful goals aren't just about having more. They're about becoming more. When you set a goal to earn $1 million, the real value isn't the $1 million. It's the person you must become to earn that million. This is why goals should stretch you. They should require you to grow, to develop new skills, to expand your comfort zone, to become more than you currently are. Goals that don't require growth aren't goals. They're to-do list items. Another crucial element of transformative goal setting is alignment with your values and purpose. Goals that don't connect to what deeply matters to you will fail to inspire sustained effort. You might sprint toward them initially, but you'll likely abandon them when challenges arise. Ask yourself, why is this goal important to me? What deeper value or purpose does it serve? How will achieving this goal allow me to contribute more or experience more of what matters most? Once your goals are clear, written, growth-oriented, and aligned with your values, the next step is to break them down into actionable steps. A goal without a plan is just a dream, but a goal with a clear path forward is a future reality in the making. Force yourself to set goals that make your heart beat faster when you think about them. Force yourself to write them down where you'll see them daily. Force yourself to develop plans to achieve them. And most importantly, force yourself to take action on those plans, especially when you don't feel like it. Remember, goals aren't just about the destination. They're about who you become on the journey. Set goals worthy of the person you're capable of becoming. Knowledge without action is useless. Intentions without implementation are worthless. Plans without execution are just wishes. What separates the dreamers from the achievers is one simple thing: massive, consistent action. Many people mistakenly believe that success comes from knowing the right things. But knowledge alone doesn't produce results. The world is full of well-educated, highly knowledgeable individuals who never translate what they know into what they do. They're like people who study maps but never take the journey. Others believe success comes from having the right opportunities or connections. While these certainly help, they're not the determining factor. History is filled with individuals who created their own opportunities through relentless action and turned initial rejections into eventual supporters. The truth is, success loves speed. Success rewards momentum. Success comes to those who move, who try, fail, adjust, and try again with persistent urgency. What does massive action look like? It means making 10 calls instead of 1. It means sending 20 proposals instead of 2. It means working on your goal 7 days a week instead of whenever it's convenient. It means continuing when others would quit. But massive action without consistency is just sporadic effort that produces sporadic results. The power is in combining magnitude with consistency, doing a lot and doing it regularly without fail, regardless of mood or circumstance. Think about water. A single drop does little. A steady drip can eventually wear away stone. But a consistent, powerful flow can carve canyons. Be the flow, not the drip or the drop. Force yourself to take more action than seems reasonable. Force yourself to continue when you want to stop. Force yourself to maintain consistency even when results aren't immediately visible. And remember, action isn't just about quantity. It's also about quality. Thoughtful, strategic action aligned with your goals will take you much further than frenetic activity without direction. Don't confuse motion with progress. So ask yourself daily, what actions am I taking that will move me measurably closer to my goals? Then do those things first. Do them well, and do them without fail. The marketplace doesn't pay for activity. It pays for results. And results come from action. Massive, consistent, strategic action that continues until the job is done. Before you can build a fortune, you must build a philosophy. Your philosophy is your set of beliefs about how the world works, what's valuable, what's possible, and what's worth doing. It's the foundation upon which everything else in your life is built. Remember, your philosophy creates your attitudes create your actions create your results create your life. So if you want to change your life, start by examining and, if necessary, changing your philosophy. One of the most important decisions you'll ever make is to become a student of success. Not a casual observer, not an occasional dabbler, but a dedicated, lifelong student. What does it mean to be a student of success? It means you approach success as a subject that can be studied, understood, and mastered through diligent effort. It means you recognize that success leaves clues, patterns that can be identified and replicated. It means you search for wisdom wherever it can be found. The world is full of examples, both positive and negative, that can teach you if you're paying attention. Successful people have left a trail. Failed endeavors offer lessons. History provides context. Contemporary achievements offer inspiration. Being a student of success means you're always asking, what can I learn from this? How does this work? Why did this succeed or fail? How can I apply this principle to my life? It means you read voraciously, not just for entertainment, but for education. It means you listen carefully, not just waiting for your turn to speak, but genuinely trying to understand. It means you observe closely, not just seeing what's obvious, but detecting the subtle patterns beneath the surface. Many people approach success haphazardly. They try something, and if it doesn't work immediately, they try something else. There's no system, no process, no accumulation of wisdom. They're like someone trying to build a house without first studying architecture or carpentry, expecting to succeed through trial and error alone. Force yourself to become a serious student of success. Set aside time each day for reading and reflection. Create a system for capturing and reviewing insights. Seek out mentors who have achieved what you aspire to achieve. Attend seminars, take courses, join masterminds. And most importantly, apply what you learn. Knowledge without application has no value. As you learn, immediately ask, how can I use this today? Where in my life could this principle make a difference right now? The wonderful thing about becoming a student of success is that your learning compounds over time. Each new insight connects with existing knowledge to form a more complete understanding. Each new skill builds on previous capabilities to create greater competence. Remember, formal education will make you a living. Self-education will make you a fortune. Become a lifelong student of success, and success will become your lifelong companion. We all leave a legacy. The only question is, what kind? Will yours be a legacy of mediocrity, of unrealized potential, of what might have been, or will it be a legacy of growth, of contribution, of steady improvement that inspired others? Legacy isn't just what you leave behind when you're gone. It's also the impact you have while you're here. It's the lives you touch, the problems you solve, the example you set. Many people think about legacy in terms of accomplishments, the business they built, the wealth they accumulated, the recognition they received. These matter, certainly, But even more important is the person you become and the people you help others become. Think about the most influential people in your life. What made their impact so significant? Was it their possessions or their presence, their status or their character, their achievements or their examples? Usually it's who they were, not just what they did, that left the deepest impression. Your legacy grows out of your daily habits of improvement. When you commit to getting better each day, even just a little bit, you set in motion a process that compounds over time into something remarkable. Small improvements consistently made lead to extraordinary results. This is why persistent improvement is so powerful. It's sustainable, it's achievable, and over time, it's transformative. Force yourself to improve by it each day. That might not sound like much, but compounded over a year, it produces a 37-fold improvement. Force yourself to read 10 pages daily, to make one more call, to save a little more, to exercise a few minutes longer, to show a little more care in your relationships. These small improvements might not be noticeable on any given day, but over months and years, they create a gulf between who you were and who you've become. A gulf that represents your legacy in the making. And here's an important truth. Your legacy doesn't require you to be perfect. It requires you to be persistent. Not flawless, but faithful. Not exceptional in every way, but committed to growth in the ways that matter most. Creating a legacy through persistent improvement isn't about sudden dramatic changes. It's about consistent, incremental progress guided by sound principles and fueled by unwavering commitment. So what small improvement can I make today that, repeated over time, will create the legacy I want to leave? Then force yourself to make that improvement day after day, regardless of mood or circumstance. Remember, the greatest legacy isn't something you leave for people. It's something you leave in people. And that legacy begins with the improvements you make in yourself today. You've heard the saying, life doesn't get better by chance. It gets better by change. But here's what most people miss. That change rarely happens automatically. It happens when you force yourself to level up, when you push beyond your comfortable routines, exceed your self-imposed limitations, and demand more from yourself than others would ever require. Today, right now, you stand at a crossroads. One path leads to more of the same, the familiar patterns, the predictable results, the unrealized potential. The other path leads to your best self, your greatest contribution, your fullest life. The choice is yours, as it has always been. I'm asking you to choose the path of forced growth, not because it's easy. It isn't. Not because it's comfortable. It often isn't. But because it's worth it. Because on the other side of that forced growth is a version of you that you'll be proud to have become. Don't wait for motivation to find you. Don't wait for the perfect moment. Don't wait until you feel ready. Those are the excuses of people who stay the same year after year while wondering why their lives don't change. Instead, start now. Start with something small if necessary, but start. Force yourself to take that first step. Make that first call. Write that first page. Save that first dollar. Apologize first. Reach out first. Get up first. Stay late if needed. Force yourself to set standards that scare you a little. Force yourself to pursue goals that you're not entirely sure you can achieve. Force yourself to become the kind of person who does what needs to be done, whether you feel like it or not. Remember, the pain of discipline weighs ounces. The pain of regret weighs tons. Choose the ounces today to avoid the tons tomorrow. The amazing thing about forcing yourself to level up is that what begins as force eventually becomes nature. What starts as discipline becomes character. What feels like sacrifice becomes satisfaction. So make this commitment to yourself. I will force myself to level up. I will push when I want to rest. I will learn when I want to coast. I will give when I want to take. I will persist when I want to quit. Not because it's easy, but because it's worth it. Not because I always feel like it, but because the person I'm becoming matters more than the comfort I'm leaving behind. Your future is created by what you do today, not tomorrow. So start now. Force yourself to level up. and watch as your life transforms in ways you once only dreamed possible. Choice is yours. It always has been.